Good evening, everyone. It is 6 o'clock. It should be. If the staff has done their job, it is 6 o'clock Wednesday evening when I expect the upload to be there. No. Provided that I don't send in any last-minute edits, this should be alive and well at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us again on your lovely Wednesday evening. So much to go over. Guys, I know you're gushing over this broccoli cut. That's what you're missing on audio is this is a haircut that's got the boys wet. They think I'm going to talk about sports. They think I'm going to give them finger banging advice. They think they're going to get crypto advice. But I am cosplaying today. You know, I let my barber go creative mode on me, and occasionally he likes to straddle and get crazy with the cuts, and that's okay. So we've got a different look today. Very excited to do this episode, mostly because I had the absolute pleasure of watching, what is it? We live in time. We live in time. I keep thinking it's we live in a time. If you don't know what I'm talking about, let me start by saying this. If you're a guy listening to this and you're in a hetero relationship, take your lady to cry this weekend. All right? And that might be a bold claim, but hey, it's been reiterated to me many, many times. Sometimes a bitch needs to cry. That's what I've been told. Sometimes the hoes want to cry. And I'll admit it. You know, for the duration of Alina and I's relationship, we'll browse through films to rent, and she goes, "Can we watch that one? I feel like crying." And I say no. And it's not really the latest rendition of A Quiet Place. What was that one, Evan? Quiet Place 3? Day one. More like days since I wanted a refund. That movie was a trick. I went in to see that with Alina, and I'm like, hell yeah. A little thriller. I like it. That was a fucking love story. I was just... Because, you know, if you've been listening to the show long enough, you know I don't like the ROMs. You know, I don't like the ROMs, especially rom-com. It's not real. Not a real category. No real humor in that. You know what's going to happen. They bone at the end. You know it. No build-up. Anyway, I had the great pleasure of watching We Live in Time. If you still don't know what this movie is, fellas, take your lady this weekend to go see it. Lesbians, take your lady to go see it. Cry together. All right? I had a much different experience in this film. Spoiler alert, Florence Pugh dies. And I think they wrote her in scantily clad. Actually, she's butt-ass naked. Butt-ass naked. And I think they did that to keep boyfriends like, all right, maybe it's not that bad. Nah, I think it was for the art. But honestly, good film. The reasons I felt feelings during this movie are not as intended, I think. Because I've also learned in the process how much people love Andrew Garfield. In studio today, he was described as the hottest guy from your hometown. He was described as attainable, which is crazy. I'd feel pretty badly if I was known. Actually, no, I wouldn't. If I'm him and it's like, hey man, do you want to make millions of dollars basically being the guy on the cover of erotic novels, but the real one, you know, the most attainable. Yeah, that's a pretty good spot to be in. But I didn't know this going into the movie. What I did know is that when it opened on Florence Pugh's sniffing flowers for a recipe because she's a chef and she's whipping up a breakfast, which she gets to walk over and wake up Andrew Garfield and go, babe, could you taste this? And Andrew Garfield is laying there like a naked little whore on her bed, drained and tired because he's got nothing left in his sack. And she's like, babe, I've made breakfast. Could you give this a taste? And he's just laid up like a naked little dog. And he's like, It's too early for this, love. And she's like, I just need you to taste this. It's important to me. I'm a chef. I'm important. And he's like, right. Everything you make is fantastic. I could feel that I was not the target demo for the film in that moment. What was really great was there was a group of these, it was these 3 early 20s. It was like a rat pack. It was 3 girls and a dude. And that dude, him and an older guy, they had the funniest look in the theaters. They had hats on and then hoodies and then tight hoodies. It was just like they didn't want to be caught at this movie or something. So this little rat pack down at the base of the theater, they're distracting as fuck because they keep standing up because they keep dropping their phones behind the chairs. They'd go on their phone, put them in their pocket, and then they'd drop behind their chair and they'd get on a knee and pull out the phone, whatever. Every turn in the film where it advances the plot, they would go, oh. When Florence Pugh's Tatas came out, that one got them going. They were like, oh my God. And then they left halfway through the movie. So they got what they needed. But yeah, so this is a movie about Florence Pugh, a former competitive ice figure skater who had to give up ice skating when her dad died because it just reminded her too much of him. And then she goes on to be a competitive chef, and chefing up is her thing. And then, as fate would have it, the bitch gets cancer. Of the ovarian kind. Andrew Garfield, as this movie would have it, is her down on bended knee. I love you. I'll do anything for you. And yeah, and about 20 minutes in, I'm realizing, oh, this is like boyfriend projection film. And I don't want to discredit the story. Honestly, it was a good story. But you know, I couldn't help and not get the pessimistic capitalist look at it, where I'm like, this film is just designed to be a softcore porn for the emotions. That's all this is. It's just designed to make you feel better and distract you from life and nothing. I don't know. But, so, you know, it's this thing where Andrew Garfield had just got out of a divorce, and as if you couldn't be a luckier guy, he gets hit by Florence Pugh in a Mini Cooper. Legally tied. Now in the film, he plays it like a nice guy. He's Andrew Garfield, so he's all fucked up in the hospital, and he's like, I'm sorry, do we know each other? And Florence Pugh's across from him with Latin ska fan bangs. She's across the way, and she's like, oh, I've just hit you with my car. And then they go on a diner date. And he's in his hospital gown, and they're in the diner. It is like, at this point, it's porn. Like, it is porn. And Andrew's sitting there listening to her stories. They're sharing an ice cream. And, but you know, I'm playing nice. I'm not laughing at the film. I'm not. And so the way they do this, it was clever. They make the timeline non-linear. So the certain points in the film, you're like, it's supposed to be like, wait, what the fuck? But it's not. He and Florence Pugh get on. They get on. And it shows the development of their relationship. And it all culminates to her getting the big C and the big cancer of the ovarian kind. But despite finding out that Florence Pugh's character, and to her credit, she did a great job of evolving this person. Because in the younger scenes, she's like kind of a bitch. She's kind of hard. She's tough on the edges. And Andrew Garfield, because, you know, 3 weeks into dating Andrew Garfield, wouldn't it be awesome if he crashed into your living room and was like,
the other day you mentioned you don't want kids, and that's like a big deal for me because like that's something I want, and I think that's something we should talk about because like I could see myself falling in love with you.
And Florence Pugh goes,
Fuck off. I ought to be so angry you asked me something like that in my living room. Get the fuck out of here, you fucking puss.
and so Andrew Garfield goes, and he runs home sad. But then he comes back and he crashes a party that happens to be a baby shower for one of Florence's friends. And he's like,
You know, the other day you was quite rude to me. However, I think it's not worth getting mad over because like I'm really into you.
and so naturally that's all it takes to get a girl who has ovarian cancer to be like, I would like to opt for the more difficult option so I could keep one of my ovaries so we could potentially maybe have a kid someday. And then that's what they do. They have one of these little ghouls. No, it's a cute kid. It's a cute kid. And so they have the kid and she's got the cancer. And then Florence is moonlighting as a titty streamer. It's a very modern take on society. No, she moonlights in her culinary career to be training to go to a national competition representing the UK. And she does not tell Andrew this. And simultaneously, he proposes to her, and it's this big deal. And then they schedule their date. But of course, the big cooking competition is on the date of the wedding. And then the news comes out, and Florence has this moment where she's like, and boys, I know you're like sitting here with a zen, like, what the fuck does this have to do with me? I will get there. Hey guys, we'd like to take a quick break to thank a sponsor of today's episode, Robinhood. With Robinhood Gold, you don't need a silver spoon to eat up the financial favors of the 1%. Robinhood Gold allows others to get rates and perks usually reserved for the high society. Now, the resourceful individual with Robinhood Gold can earn the very liberal rate of 4.5% APY on uninvested cash, receive unlimited 1% deposit bonuses, and be rewarded with a handsome 3% retirement boost on an IRA account. Robinhood Gold provides the privileges of a high net worth for any net worth. These generous benefits are now available for only $5 a month. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. Sign up at robinhood.com/gold. Terms apply. For product-specific disclosures, visit robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Rate may change. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC. Florence has this big speech where she's like,
I don't want to die, just somebody's mum.
which I was like, okay, talking to half the theater in here. And at this point in the film, you're starting to hear it in the theater. You're starting to hear the it's disgusting. It sounds like a kindergarten. No, it's fine. And then Florence has her big competition. You know, minutes before going out onto the stage, she's bleeding out of her head, and she's like,
I will continue.
For what it's worth, she was dating a woman before Andrew Garfield. That's how good Andrew Garfield is. You can be bi and go, you know what? I'm gonna go to the boys. So she has her big cooking competition, and she does it, and she executes it, and in a moment of, she goes, I'm not even going to find out if we won this thing. And she walks off stage and she goes to her family, and they go next door to an ice skating rink, and she skates the rink with Andrew Garfield and their rented kid for the movie. And they have this scene where she skates to the other end of the rink and she's waving goodbye at them. And there I'm sitting in the movie after what felt like 6 hours, and I'm going, finally, she's fucking dead. Because all the boyfriend parts, all the romantic parts, I'm like, I get it, but I know she's gonna die. So all of this is meaningless, which I guess is kind of an underscore on my worldview. I kind of obsess over the finality of things, and I forget to stop and smell the roses, which once you know that Florence was dying from cancer, to see her literally stop and smell flowers is so symbolic. No, she died, and I was like, thank God, now we can go home. There were some really funny parts. She gives birth in a gas station, and that was well scripted. That was the most beautiful birth I've ever seen. That baby came out clean, dude. That broke the fourth wall for me. I'm like, where's the fucking mucus and the guck? You know, kids come out purple. They're supposed to be like, just disgusting looking. It was the most beautiful gas station baby I've ever seen. Naturally, Alina and I walk out of the theater and we're like, well, the takeaway is to be a narcissist. Don't marry the guy who stood by your cancerous life. Go do that cooking competition. Fuck that wedding. No, it was a fun movie, but once it got to the crying part, that's when I was kind of giggling a little bit. But I did watch the movie and I go, man, it made me think about how you develop as a person. And if anything, it did a good job of making me go, man, you really think about yourself 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and what your aspirations were and stuff. And you compare that to now. And I think that's really what I took from the movie, is how much a person can change in either, a long or relatively short period. And it just reminded me how, 5 and 10 years ago, you're really convinced about what you're going to do with your life. And then things evolve. And so you can never be, basically what I'm saying is, don't get too married to who you are now, because you don't know who you are. You'll never know who you are. Your identity is an amorphous thing. So don't trust yourself. Good film. Go watch it. Take your lady to cry. So that's what I did on Saturday. Took my lady to cry. And I got conned into the movie because some other friends were going to go see it. She's like, oh, you want to go watch the movie? I'm like, yeah, sure. And I'm thinking we're going to go watch Alien Romulus again, or, I'm like, hell yeah. And then, nope, I found myself finger banging myself to Andrew Garfield. That's actually what happens when you walk into the theater. They give you 2 medical finger condoms, and they give you a little jar of lube. And then on the bottle, it says, don't be too messy. And then the popcorn bucket, after you get to the base of the popcorn, it actually detaches in the center, and you can unfold it like a little lap mat, and it's got a hole for your hand. And you put your hand through the hole, and you get to... The Menendez brothers might be free soon. We were chatting about that earlier, and I find that to be fun because I was also learning that people are big fans of young Eric. Is it Eric?
Yeah, Eric.
Young Eric. The speed on that. Yes, Eric. Eric, yes, confirmed. That's got to be annoying when you both went through this really horrible thing with your parents, and then you're just going online and seeing people go like, your brother is so hot. Young, though. Well, hey, if they get free, we know who the next Netflix roast guest is going to be. I think that'll be the all-star lineup for Dancing with the Stars if these guys get out. It's going to be the Menendez brothers, Jodi Arias, Casey Anthony, Anna Delvey. I don't know who they'd be dancing across from. The Menendez brothers, maybe they just do one together. Do they ever do that on Dancing with the Stars? 2 guys just teaming up for a sick choreo? Does that happen?
No.
It's always guy and girl?
I think so.
It's always the traditional way? I'd kind of like that, to see the Menendez brothers come out. They'd be pretty wholesome. They come out like hoodied up and they do a little in sync number together. Then Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively get jealous and they crash the show. Yeah, they're gonna be free soon. No crime this weekend. I didn't really read too much about crime and murder. Because after the TikToker and all that, I'm like, maybe I need to chill. Although, speaking of murder, I'm watching The Penguin, and it's very clever how HBO have gotten to make another Sopranos. That is very clever by them. I'm loving it so far. I also love that Colin Farrell is doing, did I say this last time? He's doing the like Italian accent that I did in middle school. And he's getting away with it. It's good. I like it, but he's like, you know,
Hey, kid, you want to wake? You got to wake harder.
I'm like, does any Italian ever speak like this? But yeah, Penguino. The pesto is good. I'm starting to refer to animals by the popular Instagram version of them now. Penguins are pestos to me. They're moodangs. Censor that. Gotta censor that. Yeah, dude. Oh, one more thing about we live in time. Dude, the amount of date perfume I was huffing, I could not breathe. The allergies were going nuts. I wonder if they're watching this movie in Ohio or Missouri or Louisiana. Like, do they care about this movie? Or is this just strictly an LA, New York movie? We need it. Sound off in the comments if you are watching this film. My inclination would be to believe that a woman in Iowa is like, I don't give a good god fuck about these two. That's my thought. What's in theaters right now? I think a woman in Iowa is like, babe, let's go see Terrifier 3. I want to see Smile 2. It's fucked up that the Smile in the Smile movie is marketed as creepy because that's just how I smile. It makes me not want to smile anymore. I'm like, I'm chilling. I'm good. Yeah, big movie weekend for the boy. Movie and sports weekend. I wanted to go play pool, but I wasn't allowed. Because once I get in that pool hall, I ain't ever coming out. Yeah. Someone said actually, the way they said, last week someone said, I made the Ultimate Fighting Championship sound so boring, and I took personal offense to that. The fuck you want me to say?
Hell yeah, man.
I mean, I did. It was like I paid $90 to watch two girls punch each other. And then there was Alex, you know. Anyways, we're not here to rehash. Just know that I took personal offense to that. And you got to me. All right? There, you got it. You got to me. Now what? Anyway, I want to check out this screen maxing my toddler video.
Day 217 of
Yeah,
screenmaxxing my
fuck
dog.
yeah.
We ease him into the day with a single screen during breakfast. Then we go to our local screen store where we
Yeah.
check if they have any new screens for us.
Yeah.
And this is his main station where he can get upwards of 72 hours of screen time in
Yeah.
a day. And then when we're winding down for bed, I'll put on
Talk
something less
Tuah.
stimulating like a podcast or a soothing blue light.
Now, when it comes to exploiting your children for content, this is how you do it. I'm all about casting children to be in roles where they're actually hurting their brain. Shout out to Derek Lucas. Great video, man. Dude, I had a pathetic moment where I was holding my phone and my laptop in my lap and watching Red Zone. I actually sat on the couch like this and like just going between the three. Pretty stupid. On the subject of cancerous English people, KSI has been getting his ass beat for the last 2 weeks because of that song. God bless him, dude. God bless him. JJ's not cancerous. He's a nice guy, but I've met him once. So I was coming across all these like renditions of his song. Here, let me look up the 1950s version. I hope this isn't copywritten, but
Hey people listening, it's the editor. Somebody copyright claim this 50s KSI song, so we can't actually play it on YouTube. Go to tmgstudios.tv to hear everything.
people said it's like Fallout vibe. Then I think everyone's heard this kid at this point, but if you haven't, it's this kid on TikTok, George Walker. This is like one of those moments where they bring out like a blind person on on like America's Got Talent that's like been in a car crash, and then they crawl out onto the stage because they don't have like none of the producers will help them. They'd be like, it's sadder if you crawl out to the middle. And then Simon's like, oh God, is he all right? And then he's like, he's got a fucked up voice too from the car crash. He goes,
No, wait. Simon, I'm here for the show.
and then whoever the pretty pop star is in the middle, they're like, oh God, it's disgusting. And then the guy like stands up and they're like, what are you going to sing for us today? Like,
I'm going to do my version of KSI's Thick of It.
and the audience goes, and then this is what comes out of his head. And they smash the golden button and they're like, God damn it, for a blind guy, you can sing. And then he gets a 4-album deal from Atlantic Records and they put him in debt. Yeah, I was browsing a lot of the KSI hate, being like, damn. What is this? We bring the boom brat. We'll have to mute this, but I want to hear this. I like nightmare mashups like this. Okay. Somewhere Gary V is listening to this being like, I love this. I like how far brain rot's going. But it's only a matter of time before it becomes unironic. And it's just like, it's actually beyond that. This is like the post-irony phase. Because AJ and Big Justice, like, they just are famous. Do we know anyone that listens to the Talk Tuah podcast? Does anyone know someone that actually listens to this podcast? I know one person's father.
Strange.
Did you see Mr. Beast rented out a movie theater to listen to?
Yes. Oh, yeah. I saw Mr. Beastoid trying to lean into the meme. The comments ate his ass up, too. A lot of people getting their ass ate last week and a half. Sometimes these things feel like humiliation rituals. Like they're like, yeah, do the meme. Eat the lunchly, fucker. Eat the lunchly. You want us to keep buying it? Eat it. they just do it, and they're like, yeah, drink the prime. Drink the prime. Fries in the bag, bro. That'll be the next one. Mr. Beast will be working at his Beastables fast food joint, and the TikTok will come up, or like the video will come up, and then someone will say to him, put the fries in the bag, bro, and he'll do it. And then it'll be like, yay. He did the meme. Yay. I'll make a bad joke there. Talk Tuah, it's funny. She got so popular, and then so like she did the celebrity life cycle that normally takes like 5 or 10 years, but she did it in like 4 months. Where it started endearing, and now it's like, we're laughing at you. Do the podcast, we're laughing at you. But hey, get your money. Do we think celebrities only lasted longer before because there was no social media? Like if celebrities had social media before, do you think, I mean, it's kind of a stupid question, but I feel like I'm lashing out at people because I'm insecure about my haircut. I feel like I'm being mean to those that don't deserve it. And that's not fun, you know? By the way, we're doing a fun little switch up in the bonus. We're going to be, I'm going to be providing some advice. We're going to be taking some real life calls. We're going to be talking to some people. So you can check that out, tmgstudios.tv. If you have a subscription, you'll see it. And if you don't, maybe you'll want to hop over. This week on the bonus. Did he say he wants to fuck his mom in the forest? I think people maybe said stuff like this about Ted Bundy too, so.
Okay.
Do you talk to others about this or?
I don't even think my adopted sister even really knew.
Oh my God, what a cliffhanger, dude. What the hell? What a cliffhanger. Watch the full episode by signing up for a membership at tmgstudios.tv. Why don't we get, since we've got a bunch of UK news going around, that's what this episode is. Up the news in it. Instead of the insensitive newsroom, this is just big up the newsroom. Anyway, let's read this. This drunk driver. I got to see this because drunk driving, that's our thing. And so for this to pop up in the UK is impressive. What is this story now? This was in Leicestershire. None of the cities sound real in the UK. It's all just like a Lord of the Rings map to me. Because I'm American and my context of the world is only film references. I think, are we the only ones that do that? Like we go out into the world and all of our reference is media? And everyone else has like actual history. I wonder if that's just us. Like we're like, oh, this is just like this. I don't know. Anyway, let me read this. Drunk driver doing 40 on Leicestershire's M1. I know the M1 because of UK rappers. I'm on the M1. Heading to Burger King. Scroll down. Okay, a drunk driver was pulled over by police because he was going only 40 miles an hour. Oh, you're not doing it right. You're gonna drunk drive, dude. You gotta mash it, brother. Okay. So he's driving slow. He's very unsteady on his feet and gave a reading of nearly 3 times the drunk driving limit. To blast the limit in the UK is pretty tough, no? Because I feel like, what is it in America? 0.1?
0.08, I think.
0.08. What is that, 2 beers?
It can be less. It kind of just depends.
I imagine the legal driving limit in the UK is a 4. 4.0. Legal breath alcohol limit is 35 micrograms per 100 millimeters. It's crazy that they can just detect it from the breath. You know what I want to do for a bonus? Can I beat the breathalyzer? Continue to get hammered and just continue to blow into it with different things and seeing if I can hack it. Breathalyzer hack number 3. Anyway, so what? Buddy was driving drunk. He gets pulled over. Yeah, I love how much of a story this is. Like, how many DUIs did America have last night? At least 200 or 300. And one guy gets a DUI and it's front page. You got to at least kill a family in America to get front page. This guy safely drove drunk, which I would say is just driving. Right? He didn't hurt anybody. This is the definition of you can do whatever you like, just don't hurt anybody. Morally, is it okay to drink and drive if you know you won't hurt anyone? You had 10 beers. Yeah, but I'm doing 30. Huh? I'm doing 15 in the school zone. I'm driving 55 on the highway. Can you be mad at me? I guess it's like if you can stay within the lines, then you're probably good. Anyone ever drove drunk? I've driven high once. Uh-oh, I see some guilty faces in the room. We got some career criminals here. I drove home high once, and, you know, am I proud of it? No, but I think it's the American experience. You have to drive under the influence at least once. Yeah, I was high as God. And I'm saying, like, I was really fucking high. And I was that high where, and you get this with drinking too, but with weed, I feel it's a bit more lucid, where you're teleporting. Like you nod out and you wake up, and like with drinking you get this, but it feels like, where am I? And with high, you're like, I'm in this road. Oops, I'm further than I thought I was. I don't know if those are different, but yeah, I'm like chin on the steering wheel, trying not to shift gears too much because I don't like want to forget where I'm at. And I babied my way home, and I'm so glad I didn't get pulled over, because that was DWI for sure. For sure. But I parked perfectly. I woke up the next day and my car was in its spot correctly. You know, and then I think I went up into my apartment and I played like StarCraft 2 until like 5 a.m. So, you know, if you're wondering what type of focus I have, which, you know, speaking of, you know, I've been chatting a bit about weed. I've been smoking more a lot lately. And I don't know what's really kicked this off, but I'm blowing a little bit more of that gas. And I rolled over a box of some shit I bought, and it said 33% amnesia haze. And I'm like, isn't that just what high is? But no, I lit up those pre-rolls, and I'm curious, does anyone in here smoke pre-rolls? Yay, nay? Yes. When you smoke pre-rolls, do they like, what's like the default smoke level? Because these pre-rolls, I'm not exaggerating. I just did the smallest, like, and I exhaled, and I think the cloud was like this big. Like, do you notice when you smoke pre-rolls, like there's like a significant amount of smoke? Yes. I just don't know if what I'm seeing is normal. But I started like smoking this shit, and I'm like, are there Monsanto chemicals in here? Like, why is there so much smoke? I don't know. I smoked like regular flower, and it's never felt like that. But I did feel very cool doing it. I'm like, yeah. I didn't even have to smoke at a point. I just let it burn, and there was so much smoke going around me. I'm like, yeah, I'm chiefing big gas. I'm a fucking cool guy. Yeah. Yeah, I've been getting high and doing laundry. On weed, I could lock into some chores, man. I don't know what it is. I get a little high and I'm like, let's fucking fold. That's what I do. I don't know if I'm just like neurotic at this point. Because I think when you're, although no, because after the laundry folding, I lay on the couch like this and I fall asleep like this. Which should be impossible, but not for me. Yeah, I noticed you can be really productive on weed provided you smoke at 8 and you plan to wake up at 8 the next day. It's kind of my system right now. I have like this personal, I feel so corny because it's like I'm really discovering weed too late. Like I should have did all this 20 years ago. I should have got this out the way. Now I'm looking at those dudes in high school that I thought were losers, and I'm like, they got it out the way. They graduated to acid and stuff by their early 20s. Now they're all running companies, and they're all, put together. And here I am in my mid-30s like, y'all ever get high? I had to start taking this heart medication, and I was looking up, is it okay to smoke on this heart medication? And I found this subculture. I found myself in a lot of subcultures. I found myself on this Reddit that was exclusively old stoners discussing the residual effects of smoking weed alongside heart medication, specifically statins. And I'm like, I can't believe I'm in this situation. But I am an American because I have early onset heart disease. And right now I'm at a crossroads because smoking makes it worse. And I can make a choice. I can either start to reduce the amount of calcium and control the amount of calcium in my heart, or I can blow big gas. And between the two, you're technically not supposed to do both at the same time. And between the two, blowing the big gas is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. It's dangerously fun. So I'm at a point in my life. Do I want to be a sick ass, chill ass stoner, or live to see my loved ones in my 50s? And when I look at those two options, I kind of look at the loved ones. And I'm like, they can get fucked, because blowing the big gas is way more cool and relatable and good for me mentally. So I spend my life smoking Monsanto pre-rolls, doing laundry. So I'm 16 years old. Just turning into a 16-year-old. Anyways, what is this now? A sheriff killed someone over Burger King? A lot of Burger King material today, guys. Are we hungry? Are we not eating enough? Guys, are we eating when I'm not here? What is this now? Oh, there's a video? Run this. Okay, why does this feel like Reno 911? You won't believe these deputies. We're dispatched to speed down the streets of Cobb County, running their lights and sirens. If you're listening, this is the actual text in the video. Whoa, 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 fucker. Look at him getting foot to the floor and putting his seatbelt on after. All right, now they're milking it.
Have you seen the sheriff's gray up 150? I just absolutely. Ask Mike, I want to order her a Whopper, no mayo cut in half, right? So we get the mayo half.
All right.
Something, food was wrong. We say, hey, can you fix it right? The guy said, well, we ordered. I said, that's not what we ordered. What are we doing? I said, well, can I get my no? I said, well, can you give me a manager's name or owner name so I can call them? That's all I need. Okay, sir. I don't need no damn money back no more. I just need to find out who owns this place so I can do a official complaint to complain. Okay, sir. Okay. That's all right. All I'm gonna do.
When the Karenizer becomes the Karen.
It may be an assistant manager now, but I don't know who he is. He's just straight up ads. I'll get all the names I can. Oh, sir? He just wants some names, managers, owners. No big deal.
Oh my God, I have to see how this. All right.
They're gonna.
All right. So picture this. You're working at Burger King. You get the order wrong. Some guy's teeing off on you about it. You're like, motherfucker, I make $9 an hour. I don't care. You lock the doors. Surprise. It's the county sheriff. Now what?
How are you? Who's the manager on duty?
That would be him.
You a manager or assistant manager?
I'm an assistant.
Okay, so this guy doesn't give
Alright.
his name.
Well, that was all I needed. Thank you for your time. Have a good day.
Huh.
And you said the old Kmart after that. Yeah, I said the old Kmart you were talking about, right? Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's an assistant manager working right now. He didn't want to give his last name, but his name was
Did we get the manager's name?
Yeah, the manager is. That's her phone number.
Okay.
And the people that own this place is.
Okay, that's all I need.
All right, sir.
Appreciate you, man.
Yep, no problem. Have a good day, sir.
And he didn't want to give me his information.
All he wanted to give me was his
That's
first name.
the white man with the mustache?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he said he felt threatened that somebody was going to do something to him. So,
Like stalk him or something.
it didn't help none.
I like, all right. All right, so I'm watching this and these cops are kind of laughing about the guy's response being like, I feel unsafe. They're going, he feels unsafe or something. Like we're going to stalk him or something. And they're all laughing about it. A little bit of irony there. I don't feel like I have to explain. So yeah, at the end of this video, they just shoot the manager in the parking lot. They actually just unload on him, and that's the end of the video. Well, that's crazy, you know? Hate to see it. Abuse of power. If I'm the county sheriff and my Burger King order is messed up, I'm firebombing that Burger King, and I'm saying, what are you going to do about it? Not JK. AJ and Big Justice are live right now.
Now bring the boom. Now bring the boom. Boom. Boom.
They're actually live.
Now bring the boom. Boom. The boom's still here and we're still bringing it.
Now, should we hide? They're shooting for 1 million or not?
Yeah, we're definitely shooting for 1 million today. We're shooting for 1 million hearts today. Whoa! Another galaxy. That's from Dale Bell. David Drake is here. Our buddy David's here. Bring the boom. Boom. Boom.
Can't wait to see it.
Grogu.
They're smiling big because they're collecting about 10 grand today. God damn, dude. I'm just glad we caught that. This vape exploded on a plane and they got to ride the airplane slide. That's pretty special. To get to do the slide. Doesn't that usually never come out? Do you guys ever think about that when you get on a flight and they give all that, you know, blah, blah about water? You ever think how like that opportunity is never going to present itself? Because if a plane's going down over water, it's just going. It's so much mass and energy. Like you're not. That's why the whole ducking down thing is funny too. It's crazy to request people to behave in an orderly fashion when they are seconds from it being over. I'm surprised the airplane instructions aren't like, in the event of a loss of like cabin oxygen, feel free to look to the person next to you, ask them if they want to have, one last conversation before we end it. Get your phone out, like call someone. At a certain altitude, you'll get reception. Yeah, this guy's vape exploded on a plane, so he has the new Samsung, I guess. Dude, the vape capabilities continue to amaze. Besides like making phone calls, can you look up the vape with the slot machine on it? That thing. I'm telling you, if they haven't already, DraftKings, get on this. Get on this. It's honestly kind of amazing that vapes are going through the cell phone development cycle at such a rapid rate. Like, all right, you could play Snake on your phone in 2001, the year 2000, and it took about, what, 10, 15 years to get to color and tactile games and email and all that shit. Brother, wait till you're on your vape and it's got a tether to your Apple phone. So your Apple device is in your pocket and you're tethered to your vape and it works just like an Apple Watch and you can just be smoking religiously. I'm giving it 1 year. 1 year before we're at that point. That'd be my guess. Okay, since I'm on like a streak of fucking pathetic behavior, allow me to share this with you. Because part of my whole pre-roll journey is I had that like addict moment where I'm like, oh, I thought I had a joint in here. And I went scavenging for this lone joint. And the end was burnt. So it had already been smoked. And I came across it and I realized like this is the stoner equivalent to like when a mechanic like stumbles across a what appears to be a running car in like a junkyard, like an abandoned car. It's like, oh man, if we just, you know, put a little work in, put a little muscle in, we get this thing up and running for nothing. And that was me. I'm like snipping the burnt end. I'm relighting it, and once I got it going, I could hear it. It was like rip starting the joint. It was like and it died, and again, and then I got it running, and I was like, "Fuck yeah!" It's probably what it felt like when they started up, you know, Mater from Cars. Same feeling, I think. Anyways, it won't be long till I graduate to like hard drugs. It's got to go through my, you know, I got to go through my gerbil era with drugs. Then I move on to the big stuff. I was watching the cut of my special this weekend, and in the first 10 minutes, I'm doing a lot of this. So if you see me doing it, I'm just letting you know I did not do coke. It was just like a nervous face twitch. And I was laughing like any random observer who sees this is, I know they're going to be like, hey man, are you good? It's enough that I'm debating leaving a comment on it being like, I'm not on coke. Thanks for watching. But yeah, very stoked about that. So that's kind of it. I don't know if I need more news. Oh, this is kind of interesting. This guy just juggles in dangerous scenarios. Did anyone else see anything this weekend that I can pretend I lived?
I met someone from Oregon.
You met someone from Oregon?
Yeah.
How was that?
It was fine. I just thought of you when she told me.
You thought of me when you met this person from Oregon?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you've told me about Portland and how it's kind of weird.
Oh, was that person from Portland?
Yeah. And then I didn't want to offend her, so I didn't ask if it was weird. But I was thinking about it.
You could hear all her piercings hitting her teeth while you guys spoke?
She told me there was like a big coke problem there. And I was like,
there's a
okay.
big coke problem in Portland? I think that is the least of their problems. I think showering is their problem. Nah, just kidding. Portland is fun. It's definitely, you know, it's a unique place. I have fun every time I go, but yeah. They have a big coke problem there. They're kind of behind. This is very depressing, but I was watching this guy's account. Dude, look him up on TikTok. Just write have any of you ever heard this word? Fentonomics?
No.
The Chinese guy? Yeah. He like spelled it. Yeah. Top left. No. Yeah. That's our boy right here. Yeah. Dr. Simon Feng. No, we don't have to hear it. This I thought was massively interesting though, if you're interested. He basically was discussing how fentanyl seems to be drying up. And he was kind of putting out the idea that maybe it's sort of like a pseudo demand thing where people grow less of it to create demand for it. And this guy kind of dives deep on fentonomics, but I just thought fentonomics, I'm sorry, great name for an album. I'd never come across that term, and it's probably been around for a while. You know, I'm late, but this is good for me for when I do fentanyl in 4 years, because I'm late to everything. As far as drug use, I'm very behind. This guy's account's kind of interesting. I don't know if there's merit to what he's saying, so before you watch this in 2x speed and you just assume that I believe this guy, I don't know. But he seems to discuss the opioid epidemic, and he was sort of just breaking down. He had another video where he showed a fentonomics graph, and I think it's that one, industry disruption. We don't have to hear what he says, but the screenshot of this screenshot, like, I couldn't help and chuckle because this seems like a screenshot that's like, it's almost like a tech startup. It's like, we're disrupting the industry. If you ignore the death part, it's like, numbers are up. That was my first initial reaction, but, I was a little inebriated, and then I was like, oh, these are deaths. Whoops. But that shit is, there you go. I wonder if the Sackler family looks at this and they're like, see, we're not that bad. We're not that bad. Anyways, guys, join us in the bonus where we have some riveting confessions and requests for advice. It's going to be a good time. TMGstudios.tv. That is it for this Wednesday broadcast. We will see you next week. Goodbye.